The latest is that Mohammad Yunus, the person who has been chosen to lead the interim government in Bangladesh, is on his way to Dhaka. Bangladesh will get an interim government with Nobel laureate Mohammad Yunus at the helm. Army Chief General Waqar Uzzaman held a presser to announce a possible 8 p.m. swearing-in, hours after Yunus's scheduled 2:10 p.m. Dhaka time arrival from Paris via Dubai. The decision to have an interim government headed by Yunus was sealed at a meeting on Wednesday in Bhagababan, the official residence and workplace of the president. Now, with the chiefs of the three forces, two Dhaka University teachers and coordinators of the anti-discrimination student movement in attendance, President Mohammad Shahabuddin immediately agreed to the student representatives' proposal to request Yunus to spearhead Bangladesh to shepherd, in fact, their Bangladesh out of the crisis. This is what the officials said. Well, now the latest coming in from Bangladesh is that the country is all set to get an interim government and Nobel laureate Mohammad Yunus will be at the helm. And this, in fact, the army chief there, General Waqar Uzzaman, held a press conference to announce a possible swearing-in ceremony at 8 p.m. after Yunus's scheduled arrival in Dhaka at 2:10 p.m. Let's go across to, Major General Ashwini Sivaj, who is a defense and geopolitical expert. He joins me on more on this. A very good morning to you, General Sivaj. I have a lot of questions, but I will begin by asking you. You know, with Sheikh Hasina's ouster, I want to understand from you, what is the future of Bangladesh?
Neha, the future doesn't seem to be very, very good. In the sense, there is a turmoil, the student agitation has taken place, and the only danger is that the anti-India forces may be dominating this interim government. Though it has been basically headed by Mohammad Yunus, who is a Nobel Award winner, he's an economist, possibly he will do a good job. But what will be the composition of his interim government, that will dictate as to which side the things will move. Because the chances of Bangladesh National Party members having a part of it, also Jamaat-e-Islami, which are not pro-India, they're anti-India, and also they are pro-Pakistan. So this is the danger. We will like to wait and see what is the composition of this interim government. Then only one will able to comment as to whether this interim government will able to steer the Bangladesh out of any crisis. To tell you frankly, there was no economic crisis. The Bangladesh economy was doing fairly well under Sheikh Hasina for last 15 years. In fact, they were likely to come out from basically poor country to a developing country by within 1 year. So the question comes is, as of today, since the students have managed to throw her out, she has gone out of the country, interim government will now take over. The moot question is, what is the composition of interim government? That is a very important, though the beginning is good because Mohammad Yunus is a non-controversial and he is a Nobel Award winner. And the chances of he's doing well are there. But what will be the composition of the interim government? That will dictate everything.
Right, General Sivaj, you know, talking about Mohammad Yunus now, he has been chosen to lead the interim government in Bangladesh. I want to understand, is it just a transitional eyewash to grant legitimacy for, the toppling of the government?
Can be possible because see, like Pakistan, Bangladesh also has a track record where the army takes over, and it has taken place in 75, it has taken place in 1991. So there can be a chance of General Jaman exercising his power more in time to come. But in case if they only support the interim government and they do not interfere, then possibly the chances of this government doing well are there. The time will only tell, but as on today, it looks like that the chief of army staff at presently does not want to form a government of his own. They just want to support the government, and they have given this task to Mohammad Yunus, who is a Nobel Award winner. You know, they have learned a lesson from Pakistan that you enjoy all authority without responsibility by remaining in the backdrop. Once you take over yourself, you know it, you will not able to govern the country well. It's very difficult for army to govern the country because the economy is something much different than what you can command army, and then you ultimately fail. The numerous examples are there in Pakistan. So I suppose now this may be the trend that you do not directly take over the government, let the civil government take over, but you have all authority without responsibility.
Right, General Sivaj, coming to Khalida Zia now, she's not keeping well. We all saw that for ourselves yesterday. In her address, she was not well, essentially. My question is, will her son be the power behind the throne?
Absolutely, Kai. It is now her son who is dictating everything. You know, he was the mastermind of this coup. He was sitting in basically UK in London and orchestrating everything. And he is seemingly very close to the CIA also. Possibly, he will play a very major role.
All right, coming to India-Bangladesh relationships now, General, BNP will be relying on the Jamaat. The question is, how will that impact India's relations with our neighboring country, Bangladesh?
See, there's no doubt, Neha, we had the best of the relation when Sheikh Hasina was in power. In last 15 years was a golden period as far as the relation between India and Bangladesh are concerned. Our connectivity has increased in terms of rail as well as the road. Economy, the mutual trust have increased. The economy of both the countries have done well. The trade has increased. Now, will it carry on or not? That is a mute question. But all said and done, as far as India is concerned, we can't dictate what type of the government will be there in Bangladesh. Whosoever comes, we have to have a workable relation with us because we want to maintain good relation. Bangladesh is strategically very important to India. Bangladesh is very important because it is a very important neighbor in Arabian Sea. So in case China start influencing, or it is Pakistan or the US, it is not in our interest. So whosoever takes over the present government, we have to have a good relation with this. Our neighborhood first policy, Act East policy has to work. So we cannot be chooser who can be the part of the interim government. Whosoever it is, we have to maintain good relations the way we are now maintaining good relation with even Taliban government in Afghanistan.
All right. Finally, General Sivaj, we saw the wanton destruction of Mujibur Rahman's statue, the father of Bangladesh. Does it point out to an agenda to wipe out Awami League completely from Bangladesh's history?
You know, Neha, it may be too early to dictate that or comment on that issue because there was there was violence and there was anger against Awami League because Sheikh Hasina and not able to control, it has used a maximum force. There were more than 300 to 400 students which were killed. And these protesters were not basically students. They were also the elements of Jamaat-e-Islami, which is a pro-Pakistan party, which has basically supported Pakistan army in 1971 war. So they are the one which were now orchestrating this violence. And therefore, they are the one which possibly has vandalized the statue of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, the father of Bangladesh, and also certain elements of Bangladesh National Party. Will they now be very powerful? Will they like to now ensure that whatever is their past history is totally removed? The time will only tell. But it is unfortunate if it happens. Whatever the scenes were seen in Bangladesh, that they vandalizing the statue of Mujibur Rahman was very unfortunate. But how long it carried on, or it was temporary only anger which was shown by the student, or it was a well calculated move by the elements of Jamaat-e Islami and also of Bangladesh National Party.